Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. So today I would like to present about my lesson plan and also the issue and the problems about teaching English skills, which is that I mentioned is the listening and also the speaking skills. So let's turn to the next. So this is the contents that we will talk about. The first one is the problem teaching and learning English in the listening and speaking skills. And the second one, the last one, which is I will present my lesson plan about how to addressing the problem from the teaching and learning English in the listening and speaking task, in the listening and speaking skills. So the problems of the teaching, speaking and listening is come from peoples with an LD, which is difficulty in responding to stimuli, which is sound. When they hear a sound, they will not recognize or identify the sound correctly. They always can recognize the what sound is that, and they can respond correctly about the sound. The second one is they will struggle to process the meaning of the sound. It is because of lack of vocabulary or maybe some struggling in processing the sound. And for the last one is fail to give an appropriate verbal or physical response. So in the responding to the stimuli to sound, they will have struggle in doing appropriate verbal or physical response to imitate the sound or to understanding the sound. So the first one is, where do people with LD struggles to respond to the sound? So the first one is auditory processing is difficulties. Some people with LD have a weak auditory processing skills, meaning they take too longer to recognize and interpret the sounds. And they may not immediately connect a sound to its source, such as hearing a woof sound, but not realizing it belongs to a dog. And when listening to the speech, they may mishear or misunderstand words, leading to be delay or incorrect response. The second one is difficulty in sound discrimination. Sound discrimination refers to the ability of distinguish between different sounds. People with LD may confuse similar sounds such as mixing of meow and moo. Maybe they have confused in a similar sound. So this makes it harder for them to match a sound to its correct meaning or object. The third one is slow processing speed. Even if people to understand the sound, their brain may take longer to process the information from the response. But by the time they are ready to respond to the teacher, may have moved on the next question or sound, making them feel frustrated and or left behind. So the fourth one is limited vocabulary and excessive language skills. Even if people recognize a sound, they may not know what the words to describe the sound. For example, if they hear a roar, they may not know how to say that is a lion. And this leads to a silent or hesitant response as they do not have the language skills to express their hear. And for the last one is lack of confidence and fear of making a mistakes. This is commonly to be in the LD students with people with LD often experience low self-confidence in speaking. If they unsure of their answer, they may choose to stay silent rather than risk making a mistake, because this is especially true because in a classroom setting where they are fear to being corrected in front of their peers. So impacts of this problem on learning is if it struggle with a sound, it may affect their overall communication development, such as listening skills. They may not to be able to follow the spoken instruction, and the speaking skills, they may avoid participating in conversation on oral activities. Also, in a social interaction, they may have a difficulty in recognizing and responding to the sound, can make it harder for them to interact with the peers or the teachers. So there is a teaching strategies to address this issue. To help a student with a LD with to able recognize and respond to the sound, teachers can use, the first one is multisensory learning, which is hear, see and do. Instead of just playing a sound, combine it with a picture and physical action. For example, place a lion roar and then show a lion's picture and then have a people's acts to be like a lion. This reinforcement can make a connection between the sound, meaning and also the response. The second one is the repetition and slow paced activities. Teachers could use play the same sound multiple times and allow people's extra time to respond, such as use a call and response techniques to encourage participation. Just an example of when I say moo, you say a cow. The last one is digital tools for engagement. Digital is can imply till nowadays because we all use the technology nowadays, right? So it may be more closer to the LD student, such as use a Canva, Prezi or PowerPoint to create interactive sound matching games that can incorporate fun digital quizzes where people hear a sound and click the correct animal for the sound. So right now I will present my lesson plan that addressing the problem of um, listening and responding to the animal sound. So as I can see that this lesson plan is initiated to the 3 students, which is in the functional level of mid, high and also low. The dim that I use is my pet because it's connect with an animal, and the topic that I choose is animal sounds from year 1 textbook, and the main focus skills is listening and speaking. For the standard that I choose is the content standard I took from the DSKP year 1, which is 1.1. Papers will be able to listen and respond appropriately for a variety of purpose. So the learning standards of that is listen and respond to stimulus given, which is the voice sounds of animal. The prior knowledge is people know the animal sound. And learning objective, I give it to the 3. Let's see the first one, the high functional level. By the end of the lesson, papers will be able to respond 4 of 4 animal sounds without guidance and match 4 of 4 animal sounds with animal picture without guidance. So the targeting for the high functional level is higher because they have a pre-knowledge about the things, and maybe their IQ is more higher than the others. For the mid functional level, it just respond at least 3 out of 4 animal sounds without a guidance and match at least 3 out of 4 animal sounds without animal picture and without the guidance. So the last one is for the low functional level. I pitch it with respond at least 2 out of 4 animal sounds with guidance and then match at least 2 out of 4 animal sounds with guidance. This with guidance means the teachers could guide the low functional to get the learning objective. So the multiple intelligence and thinking skill that I implement is the thinking skill is remember, apply and understand. For the multiple intelligence is linguistic verbal, visual, spatial and musical. For the integrated curriculum, there is no integrated curriculum, but the skills that we want to choose is listening skills and speaking skills. It also that combine the 21st century skills that nowadays use, which is communicate and critical thinking. The element for the intervention is we want communication and collaboration, and the teaching aid, as you can see, and I will explain more when we go through the introduction, when we go through the step by step of the learning. And the classroom assessment is worksheet match the animal and the teacher observation. For the introduction part, it's just a 5 minute. We will do activity what animal is it. So the teacher will enter the class and showing to people the cow, cat, dog and a duck toy. As you can see at the content, that's the example of the toy. And after that, teacher call all the people to come in front and touch the toy. And then after they touch and play with it, teacher can ask, do you ever seen this animal? So after that, the student will respond teacher, and teacher will make a sound for every animal toy. Teacher also need to encourage people to follow the sound, so that they will know what the animal sound, what the toy and what the sound it belongs. So for step 1 is the animal songs and animal sounds. So the first one is teacher play animal song and sing together with peoples. This is because we want to guide the peoples first before they try to do themselves, to challenge themselves to know the sound of the animal. The video of song, and next the video of the song have a move that imitates the animals and teacher needs to imitate together with the peoples. This is the things that I implement because, as we said earlier, the problem of this can come out with a teachers that teaching with a multisensory technique. So imitates is about the movement. So the movement and we use the physical, the movement and the sight of the eye to have a people to imitate the video and also to know the animal. And after the video ends, teacher uses an animal sound that I have linked the video and ask the peoples to imitate the move of the animals based on the sound only. So the sound when they hear the sound such as meow, the cat, so they imitates the meow, the cat's action like this. And also the others such as duck, cow and also a dog. So the teaching aids for this step is animal songs. It's a come out with projectors, animal sounds, 4 animal sounds and the speakers. So the teaching skill that I targeting is remember and apply, and it is a linguistic, verbal and musical. And the 21st century skill that I want to implement is communication. So we go to the step 2. Step 2 is about who is me activities. So this is a teacher give everyone 4 animal flashcard that consists what they learning earlier, which is cow, dog, cat and dog. We use again the same animal because we don't want to use another animal. We implement what the teacher need to use to consider a problem, to come out the problem, which is doing repetition and slow paces learning styles. And after that, after giving the animal flashcard to everyone, at the front there's a box that have a picture of the animal that face the teachers, and the pupils can see what's the animals inside. And then the teacher will call one person to come in front and take one of it in the box. So the person will come in front and took one animal in the box, and after that the teacher will ask the person that in front of it imitate or make a sound of the animals that the person got. So the others peoples will raise the right flashcard to recognize what the sound of the animals. So the teaching aid for this step is a box, animal pictures, animal flashcard, and the teaching skill is remember and apply. And after all, they make a sound of correcting the and teacher will correcting the 4 student flashcard that they raise. Okay, we move to the step 3. Step 3 consists of 15 minutes of the learning. So this is where the part the teachers will know is the objective is successful or not. So this is called the match the sound and match the any sound. Any sound is consists of animal sound. So this teaching aid will go on the canvas and consists of the animals that we used earlier for this lesson only. So the teacher will open the interactive match game in Canva, which is match the any sound, and the teachers will guide how to use before the pupils try it. Before that, after that, they will be asked one by one to try the games, and the teachers will check how much the people get the right answer. So in this step, the teachers will know either the objective is successful or unsuccessful. So why I choose this step, which is why I choose this activity, because as we said earlier, how to teach this problem is to implement the digital, because digital is so closer to us and so closer to the LD students. And also this match the any sound can bring to the house of them, so they can go home and try it again. So the teaching aid is match the any sound, and also computer and projector if you want to make everyone to view, but I think it's not a good idea to do to everyone the result, so make it one by one. And then the teaching skills is remember and apply, and the linguistic, verbal and musical, and the 21st century skill is communication and collaboration, and also the value is the confidence. So let's go to the last part, which is a conclusion. The conclusion will consist of 5 minutes, which is the teacher will first ask them what they learned today, and everyone will respond what they want to learn today about animal sound, what kind of animal that learn, or everything that consists what they learn today. And after that, the teacher will play an animal song again and sing together again with her pupils. So they keep repeat all the things, because the repetition and the slow paces learning is good for them to recognize the sound and respond to the sound. So to come out the last, the teaching, listening and speaking skills to people with learning disabilities requires of patience, structured supports and innovative strategies that align with their unique learning needs. One of the major difficulties of these people face is their struggle to respond to auditory stimuli. such as sound or spoken words like we said earlier, the animal sounds. This difficulty arises from a range of cognitive and linguistic challenges, including auditory processing deficit, slow cognitive response time, difficulty distinguish similar sounds, limited vocab, and low self-confidence in speaking. So without a targeted intervention, these issues can significantly impact not only their ability to communicate, but also their overall academic progress and social development. Listening and speaking are foundational skills in language learning, as they form the basis of for literacy development, classroom participation, and meaningful social interaction. Peoples with Peoples who struggles to recognize and respond to the sounds may find it is difficult to follow classroom instruction, express their thought clearly, and participate in every conversation. So this is in turn can lead to a frustration, low self-esteem for the LD students, and reluctance to engage in speaking activities. So further, widening the gap between them and their peers, and it also make them crucial about what they learn. So it is therefore crucial that we as educators implement structures, engaging and multimodal teaching approaches that cater to the diverse learning styles for the pupils with LD, while creating a safe and supportive environment that encourage active participation. So to address this issue that I have designed earlier, the lesson plans which is based on the English language curriculum for special education, and this is aligned to the listening and speaking standards 1.1.1, which is listen and respond to the stimulus given of the voice of animal. So by engaging a multisensory approach, repetition and slow paces learning styles, and also the digital implementation, the lesson seeks to break down the barriers that prevent people with LD from developing their listening and speaking skills. One of the key aspects of this lesson is its step-by-step structure, where gradually builds people's confidence and competence. The lessons begin with an interactive listening activities, which is singing the animal song and imitate the move of the animal. So this initial stage serve as a low pressure engagement activities that people need to learn and observe and imitates the animals. By providing a comfortable listening environment like this, the people become more familiar and the auditory stimuli can be asking to response. So they will feel safe in the classroom and they can have a high esteem to respond to the animals. Following this, the lesson incorporates two carefully designed activities to reinforce both listening and speaking skills, which is the sound matching games and singing the animal songs. By structuring in this way, we allow people with LD to progress from passive listening to active participation in a scaffold and supportive manner. Instead of expecting them to immediately formulate spoken response, we gradually build their confidence by first allowing them to recognize sounds, then match sounds to the visual representation, and finally verbalize their understanding in a guided format. A major component of this lesson plan is this integrating of technology to enhance engagement and accessibility. Digital tools such as Canva that we use is incorporate to provide interactive animation and sound-based quizzes. For the papers with LD, digital tools can be served in effective ways to bridge gaps in understanding by providing a combination of audio, visual, and interactive animals, which is click in the right answer. So interact with the content in the ways that suits individual learning needs. So the assessment in this lesson, which is observational assessment, like monitoring how well people recognize and match sounds. Verbal response tracking, which is listening to their attempts at verbalizing animals' names and structure, and also the interactive match game that make them respond in digitally. So at the heart of this lesson is belief that every child, that regardless of learning ability, deserve the opportunity to develop their communication skills in a way that is accessible, engaging, and confidence building. By implement the multisensory strategies, structured speaking activities, and digital learning tools, we can create an inclusive learning experience that caters to the strengths of challenges of people with LD. With what, I would like to thank you for your time and attention. I hope this lesson plan serve as a valuable contribution to making English language learning more accessible and engaging for people with learning disability. I welcome any question and feedback if you want it. And as an educator, we must continue to embrace innovative, inclusive, and engaging teaching strategies that empower people with LD to develop their communication skill and a supportive structure by the environment. So that's all from me. Thank you.